welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Stacy. Now today is January 15th, which marks the beginning of week 3 for my 30 books in 30 days challenge, which means I'm pretty much halfway through my challenge, and I'm still quite confident that I'm doing really well and that I'm on track to reading 30 books. Now I am technically behind by 2 books. I finished reading one this morning, and to get caught back up, I actually need to read 2 books today. So is it possible? I don't know. We're going to find out. This morning I did finish reading The Fill-In Boyfriend by Kasie West, and I really did enjoy it. It was better than I expected. This book, yes, definitely a must read. I really did enjoy the author's writing style. I really liked the characters. At first I didn't like Gia, but it was kind of neat to see her kind of grow and mature. But by the end of the book, I really did like her. I actually look forward to picking up more books by Kasie West, and to be honest, it was way better than I expected. Okay, so I'd really like to get caught up on my books. So like I said, I need to read 2 today. The one book I'm hoping to read today is called The Ice Monster. And now I saw this book at Walmart last time I was there. I had heard nothing about it. I guess it came out, I believe, November of last year. But anyways, it is a middle grade book, and I'll stick a picture here. I really have no idea what it's about. I'm going based off the cover, and it just really caught my attention, and ever since I saw it, I wanted to pick it up and read it. The thing is, it was $22 at Walmart, and I really didn't want to spend that kind of money. So I came home and I was able to find it through my library. Yeah, so I'm hoping to get that one read. As far as the second book that I need to read today, I honestly have no clue. It's going to be, I'll get that, hopefully I'll get that one done, and then I'll just go through my books and see what I have and just go from there. And that's everything I want to talk about today, so I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Good morning, guys. It is now January 16th, so obviously day 16. My plan yesterday was to read The Ice Monster, and I was gonna just randomly pick another one, and I was hoping to get both of them read. Well, I didn't even get one of them read. So that officially puts me 3 books behind. If I can read 3 books today, I'll be caught up. So anyways, I was only able to get halfway through The Ice Monster yesterday. Hopefully I can finish reading it this morning. I did start The Body by Stephen King. It's short, it's only 159 pages. I thought I'd be able to fly through that in no time. But I mean, it's Stephen King, and for me, I can never just fly through his book, so I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm not 25 pages in, so we'll see how much of this I can get read today. And the optimistic person I think I am, I think I can throw in a 3rd book, but we'll see. But I've chosen Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas. I read this before and I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping I can fly through it like I did with his other one, I think the first week I read it. But yeah, just thought I'd check in and let you know what's happening, and yeah, you can kind of see my coffee. So the plan right now is, I mean, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. My husband's still sleeping, so I'm gonna sit down with my coffee and I'm gonna read. Till next video, bye.
To day 18. So it's once again time to kind of catch you up on what's been happening with my reading. As of today, which obviously is January 18th, I have read 15 books, which means I am 3 books behind. So I guess the question is whether or not I can catch up or not, but I'm still optimistic. I'm still pushing. So as far as the books that I have finished reading since my last video, I did finish The Ice Monster, and like I said, this is a middle grade, and it definitely read like a middle grade. It was okay. I mean, I don't really think I'm a fair judge of how good it was, because obviously my age, I'm not the right age to be reading that, but I do think it was pretty good. I love the illustrations in it. I definitely think if any of my viewers are watching right now and they have kids that are, you know, that middle grade age, I definitely think they would like it. And the other book I finished reading is Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas. And I said, I think before in my other videos that I have read this before and I loved it. And so this is the second time reading it. I read it quite a long time ago. I don't know, I'm gonna guess close to 10 years. But I really loved it then, and I loved it just as much this time around too. So the book I am currently reading right now is called Elevation, and this is by Stephen King. I'm not quite halfway through it. Definitely different. So far it's just basically about this man who, when he weighs himself, each time he weighs himself, he weighs less and less, but his body isn't physically changing to match the number that he sees on the scale. You know, that description doesn't even sound like anything Stephen King would write, so I don't know. We'll see what my opinion is at the end of the book, whether I like it or not. So far, I'm not loving it. I'm not hating it. I'm not loving it. One of the books I'm thinking about reading is called The Magic Misfits, and this one is by Neil Patrick Harris, again in middle grade. And another book I'd like to pick up today is called Come Closer, and that is by Sarah Grain. I actually just heard somebody talk about it today on their YouTube channel, and it's a horror book, and it sounded really cool, so I'm like, I might just pick that one up and give it a try. So anyways, that is my plans for the rest of the day. I mean, it's like 4:30, so to think that I can finish 3 books in that short period of time is just not gonna happen. But you gotta have a plan, right? Now, I'm not sure when I'll be able to film next. I might not be able to film tomorrow or the day after. But I'll try and get one more video in before the end of the week. Anyways, I hope everybody is doing lots of reading and reading lots of amazing books. Until next time, bye! Hello friends, and welcome to day 21, which marks the end of week 3. I have just been so swamped with work, I can't even remember the last video I filmed. So I'm just gonna try and catch you up the best I can. Hopefully when I throw all my videos together it makes sense. If it doesn't, then whatever, I guess. Now, I was able to finish reading Elevation by Stephen King. It is super short, which for the most part is unusual for him. It was definitely different. If you haven't read this yet and you're thinking you're going to pick up a horror book, by my definition is not a horror book. I don't know why people still classify it as that, but it's definitely not. I did enjoy it. I don't know if I really liked the ending very much, but other than that, I thought it was pretty good. So another book that I had finished reading this week is called Come Closer. And this is essentially about a woman who, she just starts hearing weird noises in the house, like a tapping on the wall. She starts having this, this urge to hurt people that she cares about. And one day she accidentally gets this book in the mail, and it has something to do with demon possession. She starts flipping through it, and she notices that some of the things that she's going through are exactly the same as what's in the book. Now, the description of this book sounds really good. It had me hooked. It said it was like one of the scariest books of the year. Yeah, so I was like, I'm all over this book. It sounds amazing. But then I read it, and to be honest, I felt really let down by it. For me, it was just average. It was not scary by any means. Now I am currently reading Every You, Every Me. I'm almost done. I think I have, let's see how many pages I have left. I have about 40 pages left. To be honest, I'm actually enjoying this. And I think the only negative I have is, I don't know what you call it, but there'll be like a sentence and there'll be like a line through it. Let's see if I can show you an example. Well, it's going to take me forever to find one, of course. Yeah, here we go. Here's a perfect example because pretty much the whole entire page is like that. Hopefully you can see it okay, but you kind of see how the lines go through the words. At first I found it like really annoying. The further I got in, I think the more I just kind of like got used to it. But to be honest, I didn't think it was really necessary. I don't know. I'm sure people would disagree with me, but yeah, I don't think it was necessary. So I'm really hoping to get this one finished today. I apologize if this video is just really quick and to the point. Like I said, the last 2 days have been just absolutely crazy busy with work. I have a very physical job. So I'm shoveling snow for, you know, every time it snows, I'm shoveling for at least 8 hours. It is, I mean physically shoveling, right? My husband uses a snowblower, I use a shovel. Anyways, it's exhausting. So I don't always have the energy to read, and I don't always have the energy to film videos after having to work. And I had 2 days like that. So yeah, I apologize for it being quick, and I do have an appointment to go to today. So another reason I'm rushed. Just welcome to my life. It's just total chaos. So anyways, I hope I remember to talk about everything. I'm sure I forgot something, and I apologize if this is just a total mess. Until next time, bye! Hello friends, and welcome back. This is the part of the video where I take the opportunity to do a wrap-up of all the books that I've read for the week. Okay, so I read The Fill-In Boyfriend by Kasie West, and in this book we follow Gia, who her boyfriend has broken up with her in the parking lot of her prom. Her friends have never met him before. He lives out of town. I think it's like 3 hours away. She's too embarrassed to go inside. She's afraid that her friends are going to think that she's just made this guy up and he doesn't exist. So she happens to see this guy. He's sitting in his car. He's waiting for his younger sister who is also attending the prom. And she actually asked him to be essentially the fill-in boyfriend. So this guy kind of has to go along with, you know, that he's this boyfriend that originally dumped her. And from there, this lie just kind of keeps snowballing, and yeah. I really enjoyed this book. This is my first Kasie West book. I thought it was really cute, really fluffy. At first, I did not like Gia's character. I thought she was a snob and she was entitled, but it was kind of nice to see her grow and mature. After reading this book, I will definitely pick up more books by Kasie West, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. Okay, and the next book I read is The Ice Monster, and this is by David Williams. This is a middle grade book that also has some illustrations in it. Now, in this book, we follow 10-year-old Elsie, who is actually an orphan who is living on the streets. And then one day she reads on the front of the newspaper that there is this mammoth that is coming to the museum as a display, and he's in this big ice block. So curiosity gets the best of her, and she has to go check it out. And this basically just sparks the adventure of a lifetime. Now, I definitely like this book. I'm going to start off by saying, though, that I am not a fair judge of this book at all, simply because of my age. I'm nowhere near being middle grade age, but I still enjoyed it. I love the illustrations. It was really neat to see all the things that happened on her adventure and just how creative this author was. It was just definitely cute and fun, and I would definitely recommend it. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. And next I read Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas, and this is by James Patterson. And like I said in my videos before, I had read this one several years ago. I don't know, I'm guessing like 10 years ago. So anyways, in this book we follow the character Katie, who thinks she has found the man of her dreams. And then one day he just suddenly breaks up with her for no reason. He doesn't really explain why or anything. He's like, we're done. And shortly after she broke up with her boyfriend, she receives this diary, and it kind of explains why this guy has broken up with her. I love the idea that part of this book, it's not the whole entire thing, but part of this book is told in a diary format. And I don't know, I like reading books like that. It just, for some reason, really holds my attention. Okay, so this is a love story, and I have to admit it was pretty heartbreaking at times, but still just a beautiful story. And I just like how everything all just kind of comes together in the end, and it'll just grab at your heart. It's definitely a quick read too. The chapters are really short, which is, you know, typical for James Patterson, but yeah, so the chapters are short. You could just kind of like fly through them. It is one of those books that's just really hard to put down. I would definitely recommend this book to anyone who is a fan of Nicholas Sparks. But I ended up giving this book 5 stars, which I believe was my original star rating when I read it the first time too. And next I read Come Closer, and this is a horror book. And in this book, our main character, she just starts hearing like these weird noises in the house. There's like a tapping on the wall. She starts, you know, having this urge to hurt the people that she loves. One day she receives a book in the mail by accident, and it happens to be a book, it has something to do with demon possession. But she's curious, and she just kind of, you know, flips through the pages and she reads a few. And then she starts to notice that, you know, some of the things that are happening to her are kind of like listed in this book. So, you know, she's questioning whether or not she is possessed by a demon. So really, I think this book sounds super intriguing. So when I heard somebody describe it, I'm like, oh my God, that just sounds so amazing, so intriguing. I have to get this book. So anyways, based on that description, and I had heard somebody else talk about it and they really enjoyed it, and it definitely caught my attention. I'm like, I'm definitely gonna really like that book. I read on Goodreads in the little description that there's this blurb on the cover and it says that it is like the scariest book of the year. But to be honest, I did not like it whatsoever. And when you sell a book as being like the scariest book of the year and it just really falls flat, you're setting that book up for disappointment. I think I started to get really annoyed with the main character. You know that there are these things happening to you, and I mean, you know, you make no effort really to fix the problem. I don't know. I had high expectations. I thought it was going to be scary. It wasn't. So, you know, for me, it was just an average book. And I ended up giving this book 3 stars. Okay, so next I read Elevation by Stephen King. And this book is essentially about a man who, he notices that every time he like steps on the scale that his weight is going down, but his body is not changing to match the number on the scale. And I mean, it just keeps going down, down, down. Like every single day he's losing, you know, at a very rapid rate. Another part of this book is that he helps this lesbian couple that they live down the street from him, and they live in an area where there's discrimination against lesbians, and, you know, he just kind of helps them out. This is another book that I've seen labeled as horror, and it is definitely not. If you're a fan of Stephen King and you haven't read this yet, and you go into thinking that it's going to be a horror book, you are going to be so disappointed. I think if you go into it knowing it's not a horror book, then you might just actually like it. I ended up really liking this book because it just had like a really different storyline, different plot. I do find myself when I read Stephen King books that he likes to go into like really great detail, and for me when I read his books, I really have to concentrate. It takes me a little bit longer. just because it's just so dense. But I didn't feel that way with this book. I actually thought it was a fairly quick and easy read. I was able to get through it in no time whatsoever. Now, I can't say that I was really a huge fan of the ending. I was really hoping for a different outcome. But anyways, I ended up giving this book 4 stars. Okay, and next I read Every You, Every Me. But to be honest, I was really nervous about picking this book up. I heard really mixed reviews and, was reading some of the reviews. I'm like, you know what, this probably is not going to be a book that I like. But boy, was I wrong. So in this book, one of our main characters, Evan, his best friend goes missing. I believe her name's Ariel. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she's gone missing and nobody knows where she is. Nobody knows what happened to her. She just, she's just gone. And Evan kind of blames himself for her being missing. And then he starts receiving these pictures and he starts finding them in other places. And they're pictures of him, of Ariel, and her boyfriend. And he has just no idea where these pictures are coming from, who's sending them, who's leaving them. It could be Ariel, it could be her boyfriend, it could be somebody totally different. So there's just a lot of mystery behind where she went and where all these pictures are coming from. I don't know, I really loved the author's writing style. For me, it just seemed very poetic. One of the things I did not like was when Evan was, he's kind of thinking to himself, but in the text, it'll be like he'll, have a thought and then it'll have a line through it. And, it kind of was annoying at the beginning. I did eventually get used to it, but I don't know. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it really added to the story. And I ended up giving this book 4 stars. Okay, so those are all the books that I've read for the week. I'm down to just 1 week left. It's been very interesting. I'm still, up in the air on whether or not I can read these 30 books or not. I'm really nervous.